Ladies, there are some women who will take every opportunity they get to backstab and betray another woman, even if it's in a professional setting. Unfortunately, many women get a kick out of covertly betraying and backstabbing other women. Case in point, Loren, Lorosa, and Jess Hilarious, this whole thing happening on the Breakfast Club. Imagine you go out on maternity leave and you need somebody to fill in for you while you're out with your beautiful baby, planning your family, and you turn to another colleague to secure your position while you're away, only to come back and she has filled your position. There are a lot of women who are like that, where they are very opportunistic, even if they have a position that is higher than yours. When the opportunity strikes, if they are a woman who does not have any ethics, any morals, they really could care less about you and your livelihood and your position, what have you, they will not hesitate to step into your shoes if given the opportunity. There are a lot of people who are taking the side of Loren Lorosa and saying that she's a better fit for the position, that Jess Hilarious is not that talented, and they're missing the point. I want to make 3 points here. First point, as women, we have to stop being so naive when we turn to help from other women. Unfortunately, as I've said before, not all women are girls. And when it comes to business, especially in the corporate world, a lot of women put aside their ethics, their morals, and their values for the sake of opportunity, clout, popularity, money, what have you. And this young lady, even though she might be more talented than Jess Hilarious in the eyes of some, you have to understand, first, she is a reporter and trained journalist. Jess Hilarious is a comedian. Bear in mind, I'm not a fan of either one. I don't listen to The Breakfast Club. It's not really the kind of programming I partake in, simply because I can't stand Charlemagne the God. He's not somebody I want to listen to. But I'm familiar with The Breakfast Club through pop culture, through internet. And from what I see, that is not really a program that, is anything that's top notch. But the point being, it's not about Loren Lorosa being more talented than Jess Hilarious. It's about the principle. How does it sound for a woman to turn to her producer, to her colleague, to someone she supposedly works with to fill in her position, and she takes it over? People are missing the point. And this just shows you, number one principle, you have to be careful who you ask to replace you or to help you in your time of need, especially when it comes to other women. This young lady, this producer, Loren Lorosa, took this opportunity to skate into Jess Hilarious's place. It might not have been her idea, but when the opportunity was presented to her, she didn't give a second thought about whether or not or where that was going to leave Jess Hilarious. She just took over that position. And people are so focused on Jess Hilarious, on her reaction of her being rightfully upset, and she took it to the internet to express her grievances, which was number 2 mistake. And the reason why they are not taking her so serious is the number 2 principle. Ladies, when you are trying to get your point across, and when you are right, because in my eyes, in my opinion, Jess has every right to be upset about somebody coming in and replacing her. She asked this lady to step into her spot to hold her position while she was on maternity leave, and she took over. A lot of women, especially women, and this person, Loren Lorosa, a lot of people are taking her side, but she has big mean girl energy. And I said what I said. She has mean girl energy. Her very last statement being that I'm the producer, you're my talent, at the end of the day, we're going to work it out or whatever. That was nothing more than her being a professional mean girl, stating her place, stating the hierarchy, showing that she's above her, and at the end of the day, you answer to me. That is what mean girls do. They do it in a very professional way when they're in a professional environment, but she knows that she was wrong. And because Jess does not have the emotional intelligence to articulate herself in the proper way, she's making herself look like a clown on the internet, and that's why her feelings are being dismissed by Charlemagne, by everybody else, by the internet, simply because Loren has something that Jess does not. She has decorum. She knows time and place. And she has the professionalism to express her covert mean girl ways in a professional way, where only if you're the type of woman who knows how to read between the lines, if you dealt with enough mean girl bully energy over your lifetime, you can see through her. But if you have not, you will think that she's just being professional. She's articulate. She's, she came with receipts. But you can see that is not right. It is not okay to step into somebody's position when they trusted you to hold their position, not replace them. And that brings me to my second point. Jess Hilarious, she does not know how to articulate herself in a way that expresses respect, dignity, and or professionalism. Now, I understand she's a comedian, but if you are in a corporation, because I'm assuming Breakfast Club, they're a part of a bigger corporation, it's still business. And when it comes down to position and money and business and places of power, you have to be able to articulate yourself in a way that gets you the respect and the attention that you're looking for. And Jess acted as if she was a girl in the streets. And people who are manipulative, they will look to take advantage of the fact that you lack emotional control, and they will always treat you as if you are the villain, as if you are the bully, as if you are the one who is doing the attacking, when actually you're the victim. All she did was go out on maternity leave and have a baby, and she turned to her producer to hold her position, and she came back to being replaced and possibly forced out. That is not okay. But because she's on there cussing, yelling, going on the internet, expressing her emotions, acting like many, unfortunately, of us do, people are not taking her seriously. And now people are focusing on the thing that does not matter. Everybody's saying how she doesn't have that much talent, but none of that stuff mattered while she was on the air. None of that stuff mattered while she was in that position. But when this other young lady came to the forefront, because Loren Lorosa has always been around. She was on TMZ, and she is a producer on The Breakfast Club. So she's always been around. Actually, she doesn't need the position that Jess is in, because she has that greater position. Which, ladies, and I know this might sound some kind of way to some people, but when you're going to ask somebody for help, another woman, when you want them to kind of fill your shoes in some way, make sure you're asking the right person. Because there are some women who have such a takeover spirit. They have such that control, head be in charge kind of mentality, where some women, they don't care about you. They don't care about your position. They don't care about your family life. All they know is when the opportunity strikes, this is my time to shine. And they sometimes don't care about stepping on you to do it, even if they don't need it. I'm almost certain, I don't know how much this young lady is making, but she's probably making a lot more than Jess Hilarious. She has the education. She has the experience. She doesn't need her position. But because the opportunity strikes, and in my opinion, she doesn't take Jess seriously because of how she presents herself to the world, she's just going to skate in. And like she said, I'm your producer, you're my talent. And at the end of the day, what I say goes. She didn't say that. That is me inferring what I believe, how that came across. That's the way it's going to be. And there are a lot of women who like that. So point being, you don't want to go to a woman that's at the top in the in the corporate world to help you in your position unless she's assisting you. But never do you ever ask a woman who has the resources, the talent, and the opportunity to take over your position to help you. That was Jess's first downfall. If you're going to ask somebody to help you, and I know how this might sound to some people, but if you have dealt with women for any millisecond amount of time in the corporate world, you have to understand, you never go to the top tier to ask to fill in your position, especially if they're not a trusted friend, a trusted colleague, or somebody you know really well. Because women, once again, if they're opportunistic and they just like to see lights and they don't care who they have to get out the way to get it, they will absolutely push you out. And I believe, and I don't care, this might be unpopular, but I don't think Loren is as great as everybody's saying that she is. I don't care about education. I don't care about your experience. I care about a woman caring about the opportunity and the life of another woman. I care about girls being girls. And even if this is a corporate business and you don't need that position, she just had a baby. I don't care how masculine Jess comes off, because she comes off very masculine. She kept cussing. She kept yelling. And no, it's not right to tell the lady shut up and hush, but I believe that she does overtalk, and it's never okay to speak to your manager, producer, whomever that way. And again, that's part of the reason why people like Charlemagne is dismissing her feelings, dismissing her opinions and her thoughts. She's sitting there crying and people still aren't taking her seriously. It's because normally if you go the street route, the ratchet route, people are not going to take you serious. But if you know how to play the game like Loren, where she came in with her notes and she had her person inside the office when they had the meeting, and Jess is like, well, I swear I don't remember you saying none of that, bro. You know none of that, bro. If you're talking like that and you're in the presence of a woman who knows how to act feminine and professional, they're going to devour you. You're not going to get your point across, and you're going to look like the villain. And Jess did nothing wrong. She went, had a baby, came back, and job is now threatened. So ladies, be careful of asking a woman who is supposedly at the quote top to help you, because if she is opportunistic, she will skate into your position if the opportunity strikes. Now, business is business. If ratings went up when Loren was in that position, you know, that's higher than just Jess and Loren and all these other people. But it's the way they went about it. And I want to bring up a second point. Men, they will always, men in business, they like to put women against one another. And I believe that's another thing they were doing. They would bring up different statement points about what she was doing online, and then they would leave it to them to figure it out. That's very messy. And that's one way that men actually put other women against one another. So you have to be mindful of that. Telling them not to worry about certain things while fanning the flame that they're already in. Like, that's just very nasty, very messy, very negative. And that's how a lot of men like to put women against one another. So you have to be mindful of that too. And then number 3, you have to make sure that you're not allowing somebody in your circle that is ultimately only wanting to see you be okay. And as I've said in other videos, they want to see you do as well, but not as well as them. I believe that Loren only has that position because Jess actually gave her that opportunity to be at the Breakfast Club. Mind you, I don't care about the Breakfast Club. I care about women and how they act opportunistic and use opportunities to backstab one another. And Jess alluded to the idea that the fact that Loren is only there because of her. And she backtracked on that and said, you know, she deserves to be there. I'm not saying that, talent, skill, all of that. And the way I read into it, Loren was only concerned with showing Jess the error of her way and why she was acting this way. And my mother doesn't even tell me to shut up and all those kind of things. It's that putting her in that place, putting her in her place. And ladies, this is why it's so important. Speaking about femininity for a moment, you have to know how to carry yourself in a feminine way. I know sometimes people will do and say things to you that makes you want to speak like a man on the block, you know, a dude on the block, like you're out in the streets. Trust me, I understand. Tried and tested. I understand. But when it comes to business and people who are doing you wrong, because she didn't do anything wrong, she came back to work and her job is now threatened. When it comes to people doing you wrong and you having to defend yourself and speak for yourself, you have to be able to articulate yourself in a professional, if the environment warrants that, professional, articulate, and calm way. The only reason why, in my opinion, that people are dismissing Jess, it's because of her delivery. And that makes a difference. If your delivery sounds like you're talking to somebody in the streets and you're in a professional environment, you will always be the bad guy. And number 2, you never ever turn to the internet to air out your grievances in business. We have seen this, not somebody airing their grievances, but they actually got fired from a job because they wanted to be the office siren. The way the economy is today, who can afford to get online and try to be this office siren aesthetic and risk losing your job? Why do you need to be an office siren? You know, women are lacking in wisdom and discernment today, and that is really something that needs to stop. But I want to backtrack for a moment. Don't go to someone who might be the CEO, the president, the producer to fill your position as a talk show host and you only have a comedic background. I think sometimes women overlook the signs that some women have the potential to be backstabbers, and you won't know that unless you have a level of wisdom, unless you have just that intuition I believe God gave us as women. You really have to know how to fill other women out to see if you can trust her. And to me, and once again, because people are so jaded by how someone speaks, about their education, they overlook the point and the principle of a thing. It's never okay for a woman to come in and essentially steal another woman's position, even if offered to you. It's not like Loren is destitute, like she has no money or position. She's a producer. She doesn't need to sit in that chair. But she's opportunistic, which means the opportunity presented itself and she took it. Now, I'm not going to pretend that I know all the inner workings of everything. I don't know if they're going to keep Jess there or not, but I wanted to use this as an opportunity for us as women to stop being so trusting of women who are clearly showing mean girl energy, mean girl ways, and they covertly and professionally like to sass you and put you in your place. Because once again, I'm the producer, you're my talent, and at the end of the day, we're going to be all right. Putting the control back in her hands. I know all of this is very crazy, very messy, very foolish, but you have a lot of women who operate that way, and they will definitely step into your shoes if given the opportunity. So there's a lot we can learn from this, and I hope Jess Hilarious, you know, I'm not a fan, or I don't like or dislike her. I don't really know enough about her. I never found her funny because I didn't listen to her. Loren, Lorosa, same. I don't follow the Breakfast Club. That's not really in alignment with things I listen to, but I'm aware. And just as women, we have to be mindful to not go to these women for help, knowing or unknowingly they end up stealing your spot. Because an opportunistic woman will always take an opportunity, even if she has to step on you to elevate herself. All right? Before I go, this cute sign, and this has nothing to do with the video. It says, all we need is strong coffee and cute shoes. I was in TJ Maxx, my husband and I, and he came over and he was like, I think this is something you will like. And he showed me and my face lit up, and I absolutely like it. It's so cute. So I'm going to probably hang it with my other things or sit it somewhere. So you'll be seeing this in the video. So cute. But if you watch this video until the very end, put the high heel emoji in the comment section. I absolutely love to see it. And ladies, use your wisdom, use your discernment, use your common sense. Some women are very opportunistic and they will skate right into your place if given the opportunity. All right, take care.